Welcome back to that Heartbreak Hogs podcast. We are back. It is game week. We are excited for football. It just is. There's a different feeling in the air, isn't there, Sid? Are you ready for this?
No, not at all. As most Hawks fans that I've talked to, I don't know if anybody's ready for this, but I'm just glad football's back. I'm glad to be disappointed again, or ready to be disappointed again, but glad football's back.
Yeah. As we go into it, I have some interesting thoughts on everything because I think that it can go from a mid season to really good. Um, I guess I'll just get right into it on why I think that. I- I'm right around 6-6, and we'll break down the schedule, and we'll go and we'll get a count for each of us. You were 7-5 last year, and I think I was 8-4 or 9-3 maybe, which did not happen. Either of us happened, but you got closer. But there's a lot of talk about Bobby P's second year here, and there's also talk that the defense might not be as good, that there's a lot of depth concerns with the defensive line. Whenever you think about it, though, if Bobby P is really that good and he's still got a really awesome offense, his teams never had that good of a defense. So if he's built a really good offense and his teams that went 10 and 11 wins with just mid at best defense, shouldn't we at least get like 8 wins? I guess it would, you also have to put in consideration that this schedule is probably harder, but they still played tough schedules. I mean, we were still playing LSU, we were still playing Alabama, which we're not playing anymore, but we were playing still really tough schedules. I'm pretty sure Bobby, he played Georgia. I could be wrong about that, but I think I remember them playing Georgia when Bobby was there. Um, but really, we still play these tough schedule or tough games. So if he's really that good, if the offense is really that good, I feel like that, this could be exceeding expectations. What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think that maybe Bobby isn't what he once was? Do you think it even matters that that's just not enough in the climate? But I feel like defense has taken a step back in the conference. Like that, if you have a really good offense, you can really excel now more than ever.
No, I disagree on all of this, and I do agree on the fact that Bobby second year, I'm very hopeful for, and I
Yeah,
do see him improving, and his offense second year is definitely going to be better than it was last year.
yeah,
I think there's no possibly denying that.
yep,
However, I don't think the offense can alone take down and get us these wins that we need to, with the defense lacking, like you said, especially with our schedule, with this many tough away games. It's not even about, well, can we keep up with them with any of these teams? Possibly with the offense. Now, with the defense, it still matters, and I think for us in being able to get the stops at the crucial times because the offense does get tired, and if we're not essentially, we have to match them on every single down. If we can't control the time of possession, let's say we our offense is solid, right? We can get down the field very quickly. And then the
yeah,
defense is out there majority of the game too. I just think it's going to matter more so in the offense in that if we can control time of possession, slowly move the ball methodically, it's possible where we give the defense less of a opportunity to look bad, but I don't know, and if it's going to be enough is all I'm saying into um, stopping it, and so I that's why I'm
really.
not too hopeful for, it, especially. Yeah, I mean I saw it last year happen as well. I mean our defense was not great last year. I understand, and if it's getting worse this year, it doesn't matter if our offense is now if our off I'm not we're also saying the offense improved from last year. We're not saying the offense is elite this year. I don't think the offense is elite this year. I think the offense is going to improve from last year, which is
Yeah.
not going to be enough. And now if the offense was elite, like we had a Texas style offense, um, that would be a different case scenario. But I'm just saying with the improved
So you
offense, it is
just
not
you
going to
just don't
be
think that it's going to be elite. Um,
I don't think
okay.
it's going to be elite enough for our defense to slack as much.
So let's make an assumption that it's going to be better than last year, meaning that really they didn't have any issues getting yards. Like we averaged a lot of yards. The issues were once we got into conference play, third down conversions and scoring in the red zone. So we could get, 30 to 30. And then after that, it was like either punt or field goal. Um, if they improve that, I feel like that we still had one score games last year that we lost. And with a competitive offense that we get the ball at the end of the game, I don't know. It's just like I just go back to Bobby P won 11 games, 10 games, 2 years in a row, 10 games, and one of them was an 11-win season with really only offense. Like he was known to like on defense, it was like sometimes they would even skip defensive practice. Like they would only run the offense and they weren't, the defense had all these rules so that the offense wouldn't get, they wouldn't mess up on offense. Um, so
Yeah,
I'm just
I
saying,
mean,
like, if he's supposed to be that good of an offensive coordinator and we take these steps and they're saying year two that's whenever the big steps happen, I think that we could see a big difference from, a mid 6-6 to 8 to 9 wins at max ceiling. Not 10. I'm not going to say that, but like,
I mean,
if our offense
yeah,
is humming, think about this too. What happens if we beat A&M in Missouri this year? How does that change our record? You know, uh, so
yeah. We'll talk about our
and
record
we're going to get
and what
into
I
that,
think of the
but
record, but I don't think that the offense, like I said, is gonna improve. I do the the key factors in our offense that I believe improved and are gonna we're gonna see improvement on is Taylor Green.
yeah,
Hopefully, if he doesn't make the same with the experience, and if he doesn't make the same mistakes, the silly mistakes he made last year,
yep,
and if he's figured that out over the
right.
off season, that's going to be a key factor. Our O line improving better than last year. Um, that's those are two big factors. And if Taylor can stay in the pocket, or if our O line lets him stay in the pocket, and when he needs to run, they block for him and get him out there.
Yeah.
Um, those are going to be two crucial factors for sure. Wide receivers, there's a lot of unknown, but I do think for us, wide receivers always there's one or two that pop out and are elite. So um, I do see that happening as well. But I just don't think it's going to be
You don't think it's going to be a big
that good
enough step?
enough.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. And
So
then
we'll
if it's
see.
only a little bit of a step and then the defense also takes a step back, we're kind of where we were last year
Yeah, and with a tougher schedule.
with the tougher schedule. Yeah.
So
Because we basically flipped those home games to away
yeah,
games. Well, then do you want to just hop into the schedule and we'll go game by game?
yeah, sure.
Okay. Um, I guess we can just flip back and forth, game by game, or do you want to run through the full schedule, each of us, boom, 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 like quick
We'll
analysis? Like,
we'll we'll both go game by game, just
okay,
a quick
then
brief because
you,
it's I know we don't need to go through every single game in a deep analysis. Just like what we predict each game outcome and maybe a quick thing about it. Yeah.
okay. So you go first with Alabama A&M. What do you think for that one?
um,
This one's a really tough
I'll,
one, by the
I'll
way.
I'll start off with I'm going to Colorado this weekend, I'm going hiking in cabins. I won't even be watching this game. But if
Okay,
I come
so you're gonna
back
catch the
or if I
highlights.
find out that we lost this game, I think this podcast is over for the rest of the season, and that's it. Good ridden. that Heartbreak Hogs
That
finished.
honestly, that would be
Um,
tough. However, I think, dude, we would actually continue because there would be a coaching search immediately. You can, which would make
yeah,
things
well,
very
we'll see. We'll
interesting.
come
Like the
back
season would all of
if
a sudden start off very interesting.
yeah,
But I feel what you mean. I feel
one
what you
game
mean
in, we
though.
get a new coach is unlikely. But anyways, all that to say is we better win this game, and we
Don't
should
lose
win
this
this game.
game.
Right. And I'm guessing
Yeah.
that's your opinions and thoughts.
Yeah. My gosh, man. This one, yes, I feel like you. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get to see it live as well, just because I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be at the beach with some friends for a birthday party, so I will be out of town. But this one, at least if I don't catch it live, I'm going to be going back and looking at how does the defense look? You know, because I've been hearing that there's a possibility that the defense takes a step back, especially because of the defensive line. Um, if Alabama A&M is scoring like 17 or 20 something points in this game, that to me is very concerning for the defense. And then
No,
also, oh
sorry
yeah,
not
yeah,
to cut
go.
you off.
No, you're good.
Um, but last year, if you remember the first game, we said the same thing. We had our hopes very high after just going off.
Yeah,
Um, and scoring was it 70 or close? Like it was just an
I think it was
insane.
70. Yeah, yeah, 70 to
Yeah.
0.
And so we were like, we're going undefeated this year. We're doing like insane, like, and it just that's why I don't this Alabama A&M game to Arkansas game. I don't know
Yeah.
if how telling it's going to be for a
Only if
true,
things get bad for Arkansas. That's the only
yeah,
way we can grade this. Like if we, go in there and whoop them, which we should, it doesn't say anything. All that
right,
the only telling information from this game is if Alabama A&M scores 20 something points. To me at least. Like that's just like
yeah,
okay, if Alabama A&M can score that many points, oh boy. Like Texas, LSU, Tennessee, you know, heck, even Notre Dame might be able to put up 50 on us. You know, but yeah, let's go to the next one because let's not just keep beating the dead
yeah,
horse on Alabama. But so we're gonna both put a W there. At the very end here, I'll put a slide of our win loss record, the total tally for us all. But just for now, we're just gonna go through the schedule here. But yeah, so Arkansas State. Yeah, I guess just for each of these, you'll start, and then
yeah.
yeah,
Um, this one is tough for me because Arkansas State is gonna be out there when they're gonna. I mean, they're gonna want to prove themselves. It's not gonna
hmm
be. It's an in-state rivalry, and it's um, they're not an easy team to beat as people think. And so I do think we still win this game. However, this is a game that's for me that's going to be more telling than it is the Alabama A&M game. This is the game that I'll look at to see um, if they were truly able to stomp them and not
yep,
even give them hope at all, or if they
right.
were able to kind of keep them in and then barely win.
hmm Also, I just noticed this, so I pulled these schedule from ChatGPT, and I think that actually the Ole Miss game is number 2. Um,
No, 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 you're right. That's right. The Arkansas State game is number 2.
oh, okay, so this is right. Okay, good, good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Because I was watching something earlier. Okay, good, 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 good. Okay. Okay, I don't know. For some reason, I got confused and I thought that Ole Miss might be game 2. But okay, that makes me feel better because I was just like, great, the whole show, it's gonna look like,
Staggered. No,
yeah,
that looks
a
about
rookie
right.
rookie mistake over here. But okay, good. Well, I feel very similar to how you do. Arkansas State should come out like with some excitement. I think that they have played once before, but it was a long time ago. It was like in the early 1900s or something like that. Long time ago. I hope I'm getting that part right. If that's off, sorry. The point is, they've really not played each other um, in the current modern era. And yeah, so I agree with you. I think Arkansas should, take care of business. Um, I really hope that this isn't one of those situations where Arkansas plays down to the opponent's level and there's a little bit of a
Mhm.
scare like there was last year. Who was it? South Alabama? No, was it South Alabama? It was an Alabama team, right?
Mhm.
Last year that started up 10-0 against us and we like pulled away at the
Yeah.
end. I forget which one that was, but it was one of those Alabama teams. Um, I cannot
What
remember.
was it?
It was no, it wasn't South Alabama, but North Alabama. No, I don't know. I think it was one of those. But I can picture their logo, but I cannot think of the name. Um,
Is that it wasn't UAB, was it?
Oh, it
Yeah, it
was
was
UAB.
UAB.
Yeah, Alabama Birmingham.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, UAB. I hope this is not one of those situations where Arkansas State comes out, swinging and they score a lot early, and then Arkansas just looks out of it. They look confused. They look unenergized. Like they need to have energy for this game. So they need to take care of business early, and I think that they should. They should win this by at least 3 scores, maybe more. But it needs to be
Yeah.
handled heavily. Also, again, I just want to see how much Arkansas State scores on our defense. I think that that's just
Mhm.
going to be telling. We need to. I want the defense to look sharp in these games. Again, it doesn't say a lot, if they do, but at least we know that they're not going to be like really bad. Like it shows that there's hope for them to be at least, decent. So in which we need a decent defense. So let's go to Ole Miss. What are you thinking about Ole Miss? The rematch after that slapping that they did to us at home last year.
Yeah. So 2-0 right now. And this is where my expectations for this season fall apart, and I have no expectations. And this is one year where I'm going into the season with no expectations. And
Yeah.
so Ole Miss being away and with how that game turned out last year, um, I think we take another L. I just don't think we'll. I don't think Ole Miss is as good as a team as they are last year either. But I don't think we are have improved enough to beat them, especially at their home field.
Yeah. Yeah, I this one, dude, I have gone back and forth on this one for like the last week. I just got to say that I think that unfortunately that the likely scenario is we lose a close one. Um, and we just have not really had success over there. And I think this is going to set the tone, kind of like what you said, where you're thinking this is where it falls apart. I agree with you in that this may be a very key indicator of like where things are headed, because the one score games have been Arkansas's Achilles heel. And I think this will be the first opportunity for them to be in a one score game. And this is going to show, can you win a one score game?
Yeah, and
So,
I hope they
yeah,
honestly, there's it's a possibility that they go in for a revenge and are just have a bad
right.
taste in their mouth from last year and kind of pull it off. But again,
History
expectations
has
for
not
me are
shown
not
yeah,
um, there. So
yeah. No, I see it. So we're both going to be 2-1 here. I'm not saying that it sounds like you're also, on board with this, that you're not even saying that it's a guaranteed loss. It's just we are basing our decision off of the past history under the Pittman era, at least. And again, I
yeah,
know
I mean,
Bobby
I'm
P's
giving it
here,
a
but
loss, but
yeah,
yeah, like I said, it's just something that based off of history. and
Yep.
based off my expectations.
Right. So let's go to Memphis. So we're 2-1. We're going to Memphis.
Yeah. This is a tough one for me in that Memphis is Memphis is not going to be an easy team to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Going to Memphis, I mean, I was looking at their record. They were 6-4 last year. Um, they're they're easy to be overlooked, especially if we have Notre Dame coming the week after. Um, it's going to be a game that is possibly overlooked, and in that Memphis is going to be almost a tougher Arkansas State game.
Mm,
Um, in that their fans are just as loyal. Their fans are going to be um, there,
excited.
and I think they're not going to overlook us. And so
Right.
um, I'm giving this one an L too. Um, I just don't think we beat them at Memphis.
Interesting. If they lose to Ole Miss and then Memphis, is Sam still here? In your opinion, do you let
Yeah,
him go after that game, or
this is where it's too early. It's going to be same as last year. It's too early in the season. Let's see what happens. We still have a lot of games left. We have conference play
mm-hmm.
left. Let's our home conference play left.
Yeah.
Um, it's too early in the season, but it will start to get murmurs about should stay, should Sam go. But I do think he stays after 4 games at
Okay.
2-2.
Okay. So my take on Memphis is the little bit I have looked into them, which admittedly is not a lot. They've lost a lot. And generally I would consider Memphis like not an easy opponent, somebody that you need to be like really on, you know, be ready for, don't overlook. But I just don't think that Memphis will come into this game 3-0. Like if they were coming into this game 3-0, they would have a whole lot to play for because they get to rile up around playing an SEC team that they would probably consider very beatable. um, and they're thinking one of the non-power 5 teams gets to the playoff, and this is your ticket to get into the playoff. Um, but I just don't think that they're going to be good enough, and I'm going to say that Arkansas, after likely coming off of a close loss, even after if they're 3-0 at this point, I think Arkansas is just going to be too much for Memphis, and especially if they're coming off 3-0, Arkansas might be a different type of team than we've seen in a little while. And there may be a difference in what's going on just with the addition of Bobby P in year 2. But regardless, I'm going to take them, and they would be 3-1 at this point, and you have them at 2-2.
Yeah, I was just looking at Memphis schedule too, and it's very likely they do go 3-0 before they play us.
Oh, okay.
Um, so it's just a matter. Well, Georgia State is their tough one where it's a possibility they lose to them, but
Mm-hmm.
outside of that, I think that they'll beat Chattanooga and Troy
I just saw that
easily.
they lost a lot and had to replace a lot over the offseason.
Hmm.
And just I just think that we're gonna beat them. The only way that this would not happen is that they just don't show up. Like they just completely
Yeah,
overlook like what you were saying when looking ahead at Notre Dame. But also, if they are coming off that loss, I just feel like that will make them focus more. I'd be more concerned about them not coming focused for Memphis if they were 3-0. But we'll move on from this one. I think we gave
yeah.
a good number of
So you're
scenarios.
at 3-1. I'm at 2-2.
Yep,
Yeah,
and we're
next
going
one
into
is Notre
Notre
Dame.
Dame, and they're coming to Fayetteville.
Yeah, this
11
one's a
a.m.
big
kickoff.
anticipated game. However, we gotta yeah, just a crappy kickoff time, of course, at 11 a.m. But
Mm-hmm.
for Arkansas fans, I mean, this will be an anticipated game, and to see if like we can beat a top team. This is our almost our Tennessee say of last year. Um, can we upset them? Everybody has them written off for this game.
Hmm.
Um, I'm definitely not saying we upset them. I'm still
Yeah,
I'm saying we
you have them
lose.
2-2 right now. I wasn't expecting you to say you were
Exactly.
gonna upset them.
But this isn't a team that they'll overlook. But this is a team that's gonna be matter even if they don't overlook them.
Right.
Um, and I just don't think we have the capability um, to beat them. I think Notre Dame is going to be one of the contenders for playoff hopes. So they're not going to come in easy into, especially into our stadium.
Right. Oh man, this is
Uh,
another one. Oh, did you have something else you wanted to say? Sorry
no,
about that.
I just was gonna just say, yeah. If you didn't catch that, I'm gonna take an L on this one too, at
Yeah,
2-3.
I'm not too surprised on that one. I feel very similar about this one, that there's a potential of it being a close game, but that just Notre Dame has a lot of weapons. I mean, they have a lot of weapons. They did lose some things over the offseason, but still they're stacked and loaded in a lot of different ways, a lot of different areas. Their defense is going to be very, very stout. Um, and this is where the better defense is going to win games. However, Notre Dame does have some interesting games before Arkansas. Um, if you pull up their schedule here, uh, they open they open against Miami, who's ranked number 10. Then they play number 19 Texas A&M, and then they host Purdue. Then they come to Arkansas. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
they're
a
going through a ringer for sure too.
that's just really interesting. I don't know where they're going to be. Are they going to be 3-0? Um are they going to be, you know, wait, so that would be 3. Do they have a bye? No, they don't. Yeah, so are they going to be, 3-0? Are they going to be 1-2? Are they going to be 0-3? Like, where are they? They should be at least 2-1, in my opinion. They should be at least 2 and
Yeah.
1. Um, and if they're 2-1, they're playing with their back against the wall. If they're 3-0, they could maybe overlook Arkansas. There's just a lot of variables in this one. This one's really interesting. For me, the only way that I think that if Arkansas is 2-2, like you said, they Notre Dame may be sleeping on Arkansas when they come into town. If Arkansas is 3-1, I don't think Notre Dame overlooks Arkansas. But I have to lean, like what you said, is Notre Dame is just too powerful. I have to lean Notre Dame in this one, and I do think that it's likely to be a little closer than people think, or Notre Dame just beats the brakes out of them. Um,
Okay.
and at this point, I'm 3-2, and you're 2-3. If you go,
Yeah.
especially if you in this situation, if you get the absolute brakes beaten off of you by Notre Dame, and you're 2-3, like your prediction shows, and you're going into a bye, I just have a hard time thinking that Sam is not on some sort of hot seat. I mean, this isn't just about Sam being on a hot seat. Like, that's not all I want to talk about, but it is something to at least consider here, that is what makes this schedule and this game, or this year, very interesting. Is if we go on the losing end at any point, like where we have more losses than wins at any point here, is that, the pull? Is that where you pull the cord on this, situation? Because I know Gruden's out there knocking on the door looking for a job, and John Daly and him are pretty tight and things like that. It is Arkansas looking around for another head coach options if we're 2-3 after the Notre Dame game? Just something to kind of think about before we
Yeah,
predict this
I
bye
don't think
week.
so still. This is gonna be a
That,
recurring thing,
yeah,
because with with my predictions because I'll let you know when I think we're for sure like gonna be
Okay.
looking.
That's gonna
Um,
make this interesting then.
yeah,
Okay, I'll stop
I'll
bringing
let
it
you know
up.
for
I'll wait
sure
for
when
you.
we. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
in mine, it
And so
looks like
which
we'll be at least like even with
like
wins.
thinking about it, yeah. Or
So like, yeah.
gotcha.
So predict the bye
Um,
here. We're going into the bye week. Usually Arkansas, we have a tough time against these bye teams. I'm just kidding. Uh,
we're gonna. I mean,
anyway,
we're gonna be beat up from the Notre Dame, so the bye week is gonna be needed.
yep,
Um, bye week going into Tennessee.
yep. Going to Knoxville. Sid, what's going to happen here? We're 2-3 now with you. You're at 2-3.
We're going to 2-4. We're going to Tennessee and we're going to Knoxville, and I don't think that this is going to be a winnable game. This is where it comes in, where I think we took a step forward in the offense, we took a step back in the defense. We're at the same as what I was discussing earlier. We're at the same spot where Tennessee is going to be looking for the revenge game from last
Yep.
year. They are going to be home, and it's not something that they're going to take lightly.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be potentially our toughest game to win. Well,
Yep.
that's not true, but toughest game that we should win, we could win, not should win, but
Mm-hmm.
we could win that we lose.
Okay.
Um, because I do think there's a possibility we beat them again. However, this is one that's gonna really break us.
Well, it's really going off the
Potentially.
rails for you over here. Is that
You
two
think
and
so?
four?
It's 2-4.
I think that's 2-4. Yeah. Um. Well, did you want to add anything else, or was that it? I had.
No, if
Sorry
you're
for cutting you in
wondering
there.
if Sam is in the hot seat
I was
at any point,
wondering.
if you're wondering if Sam is in the hot seat at 2-4, I still think he's not.
Man, I hope that your prediction does not happen.
I think the Razorback
Gosh.
fans alone will be um obviously just absolute livid
Yeah.
with this so far. They'll everyone will be talking about it. I just don't think he will be put in, or I just don't think he'll be let go at this point in the season still. I think it's
Yeah.
still too early with 6 games. Um, even though it's close to getting to the halfway point.
Yeah.
I maybe he gets put in the hot seat after this, but he does not lose his job after this.
I know that we're probably going to get some comments of people really upset by
My
at least
predictions.
your predictions. And the reality is that this could happen. And here's the thing is that when we went 4-8, that year that we went 4-8, there were people predicting 9-3 season, a 9-3 season, an 8-4 season that year. And any of the people that predicted, 4-8, the very, very few, if any, um, they were hated on. They were like, "Oh, that's ridiculous. How could you think that? What a terrible, you're just a pessimist, this, that, and the other." The reality is that this definitely could happen. And I think that it's interesting that we have these two differing views on this, and that's what makes this a little bit more interesting, is that you're being very realistic here that this could happen. It really could. And it's not that you're just being negative or whatever towards it. Like, this is the reality of this football program. And that is what is tough for a lot of fans right now, is that we don't like being in this reality. And I just kind of wanted to put that in real quick. And obviously, we hope that we're 6-0 at this point, but it is a reality to be aware of, is that it could be 2-4. For me, on Tennessee at least, I agree with you. Tennessee is just going to be it's going to be too much. They're looking for revenge. I am really surprised how many people in Razorback media have picked Tennessee as a victory. Really surprised. I think too many people have gotten comfortable with that win that we got last year. The reality is that we had some luck on our side in that victory. I think that we were down 10-0 in the second half at that point, and we were able to pull it together and have this comeback win, and we won. There was a lot of luck on our side in that game, and I don't think that people should get too comfortable with beating Tennessee every year. And I think that this is the year that Tennessee is going to take back the victory. Unfortunately, now it would be awesome if we go in there and just like keep having luck against Tennessee, like the kind
Mhm.
of like the A&M game where we just seem to always sneak out a victory against uh, Tennessee, like A&M does to us. If that could kind of turn that way for us, that we just every time we play Tennessee, we have this weird finish that we always come up on top. I'd be all for it, but I don't think that that's going to happen. I'm going to take Tennessee like you. So now I am 3-3. You are 2-4, and now we have A&M coming to Fayetteville, and we are about to have a 3-game home stretch in Fayetteville, starting with
Mhm.
Texas A&M. Sid, what say you at this point? You say that Sam Pittman is still the head coach. They're 2-4. Texas A&M is coming into town. What's going to happen?
Yeah, this is huge. We're all the way in October now with our first conference SEC, our first conference home game,
Yep.
and at this point in the season, especially with A&M coming home for the first year, with not it be this game not being at Jerry World, AT&T, and T, and their fans being closer,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be really fun. This is one that I plan on going to. Um, this is one that I really hope we pull it off
Yep.
finally. And in the tradition of them slowly sneaking by wins ends.
Yep.
Um,
I sense a
and that's
bud
why I
is coming.
really want to say, but I really want to say we pull it off. We do it. We win. But
Oh, there it is. There's the butt I was
there's a
waiting
but.
for.
But my expectations are very low. Again, I'm just not high on this season, and I don't think it changes. I think it again, A&M slowly somehow pulls off a win even here. And at this point in the season, at 2-5, Sam is likely. I'm hoping he's gone at this point. Um, but
If this
this is a
scenario is happening.
if this scenario, of course, if this
Yeah, yeah,
scenario
yeah.
happens, now it's a likelihood if we beat A&M, he's right back in where
Yeah.
everyone's right back on his boat, and we ride out the season.
Right.
But if we lose this game, you better believe it. He's gonna be is the seed isn't gonna get any hotter than losing this game.
Yeah, and
Um,
at this point, it would feel like the team is probably letting go of the rope. Like I
yeah,
just,
and
yeah, like it could be a
you look at any of the
blowout.
games before. You look at A&M. The seat does not get hotter if he loses this one and he loses Tennessee and Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, because
Those are
right now
three ranked teams.
you're writing like a four. Would it be a 4-game losing streak? One, two, three, four,
That this
five
is
with A and M.
this is a
This is a
five that we're 2-5.
wow. So that's a
We're
five
we're at the
game losing
bottom
streak
of
potentially.
at this point we're likely at the bottom of the SEC, if
Yeah,
not pretty
I don't
close.
know who you would be ahead of.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
if that's the case, we're at the bottom
yeah,
and yeah, I do think he gets put on. The sea doesn't get hotter after this, and
yeah.
if it's not even if this scenario were to happen, I think he's done.
Okay.
I think he's done
So
for the
you,
season, and I think Bobby P rides out for the rest of the season as a interim head coach,
yep.
and then we see the potential of a new hire for next year, depending on how the rest of the season goes.
Okay. All right. So Sam out after the A&M game, 2-5. For me, I'm at 3-3 at the moment. Oh boy. Um, I'm gonna lean Arkansas on this one. Just because I am 3-3, and in my predictions, I am giving the Petrino year 2 edge to this. That I think that our offense has taken enough strides forward to really change the outcome of the season. Um, by how much, I'm not really sure yet, but I think that with where I'm at right now at 3-3, I think that they're capable of beating A&M and reviving some things. Uh, yeah, I'm just gonna take it. So 4-3, you're at 2-5. We got Auburn,
We got Auburn.
and you're with a new coaching staff.
If my prediction played out, we are with Bobby P as our head coach, and this, I mean, and I say we are good enough for this win. With Bobby P. Even let's say we won A&M, I think we should come out and beat Auburn. I'm taking a W on this one, and I just think we're able to keep up with them. We're at home, and this is where a step up in the offense will should be good enough for a
Mm-hmm.
win. I do
Finishes.
think we possibly potentially no, not possibly we put more points than we did last year. We
Mm-hmm.
put up 10
More
against
than
them last
13.
year.
Oh, it
Um,
was 10.
yeah, I believe
Yeah.
10. And yeah, it was 34-10.
Okay.
Um, I think we put up more points. I just think they punch us again, and it's slight improvement with the
Yeah.
momentum that we have, but not enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So at this point, you are 4-6, and then I am 5-5. As we're going into Austin, Texas, my the town that I live in, surrounded by a bunch of Longhorns out here who really honestly have not even paid attention to Arkansas, which really sucks because it could be a really cool rivalry to go back and forth about. A&M fans definitely notice the Razorback gear a lot more than Texas fans do. I really wish that that could be a bigger deal, but we got to beat them to show them that, and be competitive against other teams as well. But yeah, Texas, are they going to still be number one? Or what's it going to be, Sid?
I mean, if you were, I still always think of Texas as the time when we beat them. And now that game was in
In Fayetteville?
was at Arkansas in
Yeah.
Fayetteville. However, it was sweet, and I mean, maybe that was just a blimp in their radar. For oh, that's the Razorbacks. Like, how did we lose to them? And then they had a sour taste in their mouth. They beat us.
Mm,
Um, After I just think that they're if I talked LSU being good
yeah.
in their roster and us not being good enough, this is for sure the case. Um, Especially if we're beat up after losing to LSU, um, playing in Austin. Now this is going to be like a Thanksgiving, around Thanksgiving type of game. So who knows? Maybe there's more Razorback fans than you thought, but
Yeah.
um, I don't see it
Yeah. No,
happening.
I get you. I'm going to keep mine fairly short as well. I just don't see any situation where Arkansas wins this. I could see a potential where they keep it closer than expected when the line maybe like 14 points, or something like
Right.
that, or 17 points.
Should be like,
And
yeah, 21.
right. And so they keep it closer than what people are expecting. Like last year. Last year, I mean, there was potential we were like, man, they could come in here and beat us 52-3. But Arkansas kept it close. So there's potential at that, but I just don't see them getting a win in this situation. So Sid, you're at 5-6 right now, and I would be at. Wait, are you at 5-6? I'm sorry, I lost.
I
Or
am
four
one,
and six.
two, four. I'm at 4-6. You would be at 5-6.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm at 5-6 right now. Uh Wait, no, then you're four
Wait,
and seven.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so you're 4-7, I'm at 5-6 cuz your four wins are Alabama A&M, Arkansas State, and Auburn and Mississippi State. So you got
hmm
4-7. Okay. I'm 5-6, you're 4-7. This is the final game right here. Missouri in Fayetteville. It looks like it's a night game, either between 5 or 7, and it's going to be on a Saturday. Usually, we played on Fridays. They changed it to Saturday for this year. What happens here, Sid? Do they make bowl eligibility with 5-7?
No, I hate this rivalry. Also, I don't think it's honestly at this point. I think it's just I don't know who cares about this rivalry,
Right.
um, but Missouri somehow always has their number. I don't know if this is going to change, especially this year. Um, could be a coin toss game where whoever has the ball less could make it happen. However, I think I don't think we match up. Somehow they have our number, and I think I'll keep it short in that last game of the season. Disappointing 4-8 for me.
Oof. All right. For me, I'm taking them to win. So that's 6-6. So I just think that this is the year that we beat A&M and Missouri. We get them both at home, and I just think that they finally turned that corner. However, the hiccup against Auburn is going to cost them, in my opinion, if that happens. And a close loss to Ole Miss, is also where, things could have been different. Like it could have been 6-6 or 8-4. In my opinion, I think that this team's ceiling
So
is about 8 wins, maybe 9, but I
yeah.
think 6-6 is about where I'm at.
So two questions. First question for your 6-6. First question being two parts. What game puts Sam in the hot seat with your record of being 6-6? And do you think Sam stays the whole season with 6-6?
So with my situation, if it plays out similar to that, they never have a losing record. They're either tied at wins and losses or they're like one win ahead. Actually at Texas, I think at Texas that's whenever they go down in mine. Because I think they were five.
hmm
I was 5-6 with
Right.
Texas. Um, Let me double check if I am 6-6. I just want to make sure because I had so 2, Memphis is 3, A&M is 4, Mississippi State is 5, and Missouri. Okay, yeah, so 6-6. So yeah, really the only time that we have more losses than wins, if mine goes through, would be the Texas game, the end of the Texas game, which actually for Arkansas' sake would not be a bad time to get rid of a coach after losing to Texas. Like that's kind of like, oh, well, that's kind of more understandable because it does mean something, that Texas rivalry. And like you said too, the Missouri thing is it's just not, it doesn't pump you up. Like whenever A&M week, LSU week, Texas week, like I'm alert. I may not think we're gonna win, but I'm
Yeah.
curious. I'm alert. With Missouri, I'm just like, okay. It's
Yeah. I
not even
think
just
the
because we lose;
borderline
they're just
rivalry
not
was
that
just
interesting. It's
it's
just not
just too
interesting.
forced.
Yeah.
is way too forced, and it's just not as big a rivalry as the boot was.
No.
Um,
And
so
even the A&M one just feels more authentic. Like there's something more enjoyable about that.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I would say that I think that if my situation happens and that you lose to Texas and that's the first time, they may just let him finish the season. Uh, but if you go 6-6 again, it's I think I don't think 6-6 is enough for him to come back. I just think that there's too much going on with the program. They need to inject something new to get NIL going again and just everything. Like there needs to be a new face if they go 6-6. I don't think that even 7 is enough to change anything. However, if you go 7 and then you win a bowl game, that may be just enough. Maybe. But I'm really leaning on you need to get to 8 for Sam to be here. I could also see him go 6-6 and retire. And just be like, look, I brought you guys back into relevance. If he gets to 6-6, now go and get somebody to finish the job. But I mean, this is all just speculation. I don't know.
Do you see any scenario with Arkansas being ever better than an 8-win team or a 9-win team? Let's say
not with
9.
Sam. No, not with Sam. And the reason is I don't think that it's Sam's coaching necessarily that is bad. You know, they've competed with teams that they shouldn't have any business competing with on paper. Like the A&M game should not be close on paper. If you look at just the talent on A&M, A&M should beat us by 20 every game. That every time that we play,
Mm.
and we've kept it close every single time. Uh, beating Tennessee on paper, Tennessee has had a better team. All like half of these teams on our schedule all have better. Like all the teams that I have us losing to, they all have better recruits on paper. Um, that I think what's lacking at Arkansas is the ability to raise money and raise funds and get fan engagement. I last year was donating to Edge, the NIL fund. I stopped because I just felt like I wasn't connected to the program. There wasn't this connection about there wasn't talks about championships. You go and see Coach Cal, he talks about championships. The players talk about championships. The football team is not talking about championships. And if they were talking about championships and the possibility in building a championship quality roster and talking about that the goal was the playoffs, I would be more excited to invest and give them, more resources. Not that I'm giving a whole lot to begin with, but just something. And I think that a lot of fans feel that way, that they would want to give more resources if you had a better marketing team for the football program. And I just don't think that the Sam Pittman regime and all that have been good enough with raising the funds needed and building the types of connections with boosters to get what they need to build a championship roster from what I've seen so
Mm.
far.
Got it. Hmm. I think,
But
yeah,
yeah,
I think this is not fully on Sam for sure. I don't put just the record. And like I think Sam's capable of getting us to an 8-win team.
yeah,
But I don't want to settle for 8-win team. I'd rather just it's possible that, like you said, if we're gonna be an 8-win team or whatever, 7-win team, would you rather just spend more money on a different program like basketball or baseball, or take that money that you would be spending on football and spend it on other sports, or
right.
would you continue spending it on football to be
Yeah,
a mediocre team?
yeah, that's a good question because I have been thinking about basketball. Like whenever basketball starts, of and basketball was making me angry too last year. So I guess I got to say that basketball did kind of have a little part in me cutting my donations was because basketball and football just looked like that there was no direction. And then basketball turned it around, but then I'm just not. hyped enough about football to start the donating again. And it just seems like there's just these awkward interactions with the athletic director, Juracek, that, it's like you gotta get people excited, and you gotta connect with people in a way that makes them excited to go and donate to this. The answer to your question is, if they get 8 wins this year and bring Pittman back, I will be very curious if they change how they market it. If they do not change how they market it and they start getting donations, and I'm also going to keep an eye on what kind of prospects are they going for on the recruiting trail. Are we going from a top 30 recruiting team to top 20, top 15? Or are we still in top 30? Because if we go 8-4 and then we're still in that top 30 recruiting class, expect us to bounce back to where we were. So
Yeah.
that's the thing, is get to 8, but you have to get to 8 at this point, in my opinion, because, like, dude, our basketball and baseball program are doing great, and fans will still post on things that Juracek posts or anything Arkansas related. They will still go in there and be negative because football is just mid. It's not even
Mm.
that football is even bad right now. Like, they had a mid season. They went 7-6 with the bowl win. That's not bad. In our basketball went to a Sweet 16. We've got a Hall of Fame head coach. Baseball went to a Final Four or semifinal game in baseball. They've gone to plenty of those, in the last decade. So, like, they want football to succeed. So I hope that answered your question. It was kind of long-winded and a lot of info there, but that's kind of my take on it. Is you got to cross 8 to bring excitement to the football if you want to bring Sam back. If you bring Sam back after 6-6, I mean, it's obvious that the priority for football is just to be competitive at
Mediocre,
a mediocre, like that is, and we can't do anything about it. That is just the objective of the athletic director, and that basketball and baseball are more on his radar than football.
yeah.
For championship contending. And that's just my opinion from just the actions of
Yeah.
everything, but that's how I've read it.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
So I think with that, I think we covered a lot here, a lot of different scenarios, situations. Is there anything else that you wanted to add here before we go, though, real quick? If you haven't already, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, because we do love doing this stuff and it's a lot of fun. But it's a lot more fun when people are engaging with us in the comment section, liking the video, subscribing, and all that. But yeah, Sid, anything else that you want to touch on before we head out of here?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I know my excitement didn't seem high over because of the record or for this season, or expectation didn't seem high because it's
Yeah.
not. But that doesn't mean that my expectation cannot be surpassed. It's 4 wins. It's easily possible. I hope I'm proven wrong.
Right.
And my heart's not broken for that reason. And
Right.
so, no, I think that pretty much, just wanted to call that out. And then we'll see after in Alabama A&M this weekend. We'll come back next week and see what my thoughts are after seeing highlights.
Right. And just to add on to that real quick is, like, I think a lot of people can relate to how you're feeling about this year. They're still going to watch the games. They're still going to talk about the games, and they're going to keep an eye because they want there to be that possibility that maybe it's going to be better than, what they think. Like you were saying,
Right.
is that you're hoping that it's better than that, and you're kind of setting yourself up for the opportunity of, oh, wow, they were a lot better than I thought, and it's going to be more enjoyable. For me,
Right.
they've got to hit a higher standard for me to be like, oh, this is awesome. Because if they just go 6-6, I'm like, well, that was kind of what I was expecting. With sports, you want to go above what was expected, But anyway, yeah, let's head out of here. Um, I guess the plan is we'll see everybody after the Alabama A&M game, and we'll start preparing for the Arkansas State. I'm just going to assume that we're going to beat Alabama A&M, unlike what Sid was talking about earlier, potential. So we're just going to plan on being here next week. But yeah, yeah, I guess we're gonna head out of here. Everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy the games. And we'll see you guys next week.